What is up, everybody? This is RybackStun. We are here with Marvel Heroes. Once again, we've got a surprise 52 rework on TC. It's Iron Man. As you can tell here, we've got our big old Iron Buddy going. I thought this was going to be the last review, and I think a lot of people did, but here we are right now, so we'll get right into it. Since it's a review, we don't have to go over a lot, but we do have 3 trees here: energy beams, defense systems, and tech gadgets. Some stuff has changed. We'll go over it as it happens. Remember, this is TC, early build. All kinds of different things can change. If something significant changes, I'll put it up as an annotation on the video. But right now, let's check out what Iron Man has. On his energy beams tree, that's what it was, right? Yeah, energy beams. We have Repulsor, which is a basic. Both of his basics have been fused into this one basic now. Iron Man only has one basic. You blast enemies with your Repulsor. It does energy damage, lowest rate of fire. There you go. That's basically that. Here we have Unibeam, which has been changed a little bit. It does energy damage, it's a charged attack, but if Arc Reactor Enhancement is toggled on, that's right, toggled on, Unibeam deals 100% more damage and has a 6 second cooldown. So we're going to do Unibeam here. Boom. That's how much damage it does. I'll talk about the toggle here once we get to it. Pulse Bolt is the same. It's the same old thing you know and love. Everybody loves this power. Then we have Channeled Repulsors, energy damage per second. Drains your suit power. Iron Man has had his spirit changed into suit power to make it so that it works a little bit more effectively for his build, and it makes a little bit more sense than having spirit. So, then we have the one-off, which is the signature. Damage has been reduced a little bit. Cooldown's at 20 seconds. Has a moderate suit power cost. Obviously, this stuff is going to get increased. And you gain 20% extra damage with a full ranked ultimate, so that should be fun. Or 21%, I'm not entirely sure. It's 20%. Yeah, that's right. And then we have Repulsor Barrage, which has also gone through a change. It's not the same type of blast as you've seen before. It does energy damage, has a high rate of fire, and it does 10% more damage per active toggle. I'll show you what I mean. And so you'll notice that it's different. It's not the same little forced blast that's in front, but this is pretty much how it works now, and it's a fairly interesting power because it gets more damage from the toggles.
Let me know when I win.
Now, concerning toggles, Iron Man has 4 powers that were all either inactive or all originally passives that have now become passive toggles. And what I mean by passive toggles is we'll take Arc Reactor Enhancement, for example. Arc Reactor Enhancement passively gives you suit power. It restores your suit power per second when you're not using suit power spending powers. And it gives you damage rating equal to 300% of your bonus suit power when you use a power. But when toggled on, all your suit power costs increase by 50% per power, and you gain an extra 826 damage rating. So right now, passively, I've got that top half. With the toggled on, once I toggle it on, all my suit power costs increase by 50%, and I gain a ton of extra damage rating. Now, this Unibeam changes into a cooldown power when I have the Arc Reactor Enhancement on. Right now, it's not actually working the way it should, and it's fairly interesting that that's the case. It will get fixed in a later build, but I do not believe that the damage for these types of powers is being applied, which I'll make a bug report about that here once I get off Test Center. But that's energy beams for you. We're going to go over to defense systems, I think this is called. Yeah. This is your melee tree. We've got Voltic Punch, which deals an extra 1% damage for each 1% missing suit power. It's your melee basic. You should be able to just punch away. You've also got your Hyper Velocity Charge, which is your regular charge thing. Nothing else that it does. It just does damage. Then we have Jet Assisted Slam. It does physical damage. It also weakens, has a moderate attack speed. And while Adaptive Armor is toggled on, Jet's Assisted Slam deals 100% extra damage and has a 4-second cooldown. So there's Jet Assisted Slam. Pretty cool looking power, actually. We also have Death from Above, which is the same thing it was before. Physical damage, knockdown, 8-second cooldown, boom. Extra damage there. The Arc Reactor Overload has been changed. It no longer requires a shield to be active. It just does straight energy damage, and it restores a flat 40% of your maximum suit power, and it is also your CC power. So, I activate this, energy damage around, and my suit power goes up. We also have your normal flight power, which everybody, either loves or hates, nothing really in between. And then we have Jet Thrust Punch, which is a new power that is your boss shredder. That's what the word I'm looking for, boss shred, because it does deal an extra 40% damage to elites and bosses. So you just sit there and you clobber them. It's actually got a nice little animation there, if you'll notice.
That works.
It's really cool. there. And then we have our toggle passive of this thing is Adaptive Armor. Passively, it grants you defense rating and damage rating to melee powers. And while toggled on, it has a 25% damage absorption shield, basically. I mean, the shield's on permanently, but it just reduces 25% damage taken at all times. Your suit power cost for this is 1 suit power per 7 damage absorbed. The more points you put into it, the more damage you can take for the less suit power cost. So boom, now we've got our shield on, and Jet Assisted Slam now has the cooldown and does extra damage. So that is defense systems. Last, we have Tech Gadgets. And Tech Gadgets is your missile build. Starting off, we've got Wrist Rocket, does physical damage. It also has a physical damage dot. They changed that. It used to be energy damage. Medium, lowest rate of fire, and if missile control system is toggled on, Wrist Rocket deals 25% extra damage and has a 4-second cooldown. So there's your Wrist Rocket. It deals the damage and everybody's burned in this area. Next, we have Missile Salvo, which is a new power. It deals X amount of damage per missile, and it does 25% extra damage against burning enemies. So, oops, that's the wrong power. There we go. So you can actually combo this together by firing that and then doing this, and it does a little bit of extra damage to that character. Now, the Missile Salvo actually has a spread component to it. It's not like micro missiles where I could target this one guy and it'll all go to him. It just goes to the nearest targets. So you gotta try and make sure you coordinate together, be close enough that the missiles hit the target that you want it to hit. Now we have Coolant Blast. Instead of it being a cone area in front of you, it's an area around you. Energy damage, slow, freeze duration, and while life support system is toggled on, Coolant Blast deals 100% extra damage and is a 6-second cooldown. So there's your Coolant Blast. Next we have Jericho Bombardment, energy damage, vulnerability, area duration, 3-second cooldown. Boom! Missiles ahoy. And last we have Micro Missiles, physical damage, 12 missiles fired, and you can do either missiles fired randomly at a bunch of enemies, or you can choose to select one target and fire all your missiles at that target. Now, the two passive toggles that Iron Man has in his Tech Gadgets tree are Life Support Systems, which passively regenerates health, and has a Resurrection spell, and when you resurrect, you deal energy damage to enemies around you and have an invulnerability duration for 4 seconds. While toggled on, you gain Constitution, and it reduces your maximum suit power by 50. More points into this, the less it reduces your suit power. For Missile Control System, you can see enemies on the mini-map, and you have crit rating passively. While toggled on, you automatically fire a barrage of 5 micro missiles when you use a power at the cost of 4.75 or 47.5 suit power per barrage, and it does physical damage on those things. So we'll activate Life Support Systems, and you'll see that Coolant Blast now does a little bit of extra damage and has the cooldown on it. We activate Missile Control System, and you'll see now that Wrist Rocket does more damage, launches those occasionally, and then it also has the cooldown for it. So does it do it every time? Yeah, when you use the power, it fires. That's pretty cool. So notice how that was a bunch of extra ones. And you get some extra damage out of that, which should be fun to watch. Lots of missiles in that area. Jericho doesn't add to the physical damage, but if you just get range damage, you should be fine there. So, notice how Iron Man can have 2 toggles active at any one point. He can actually have all 4 toggles active, which makes the Repulsor Barrage do a little bit of extra damage. Now, in terms of builds, Iron Man has 3 diverse builds he can do. He can do energy damage beams, he can do physical damage melee, and physical damage missiles with the energy damage Jericho Bombardment. I'm probably still going to end up going just energy beams because being able to utilize the arc reactor enhancement for the extra damage that it gives you with bonus to suit power should be pretty fun to use. And you'll notice I've got some gear here in my inventory. I've got suit power off of the serum. I've got it off something else in here. We've got it off the Oscorp generator. Oscorp generator probably now is no longer as great an option as I originally thought it was going to be. I mean, I love this thing. It's amazing. But there are other options out there that are probably better for you to use. But you can have Spirit on a whole bunch of different things. I have it on my core right now, which is actually not maxed out. But the suit power itself, when you max it out with the arc reactor, it'll give you 65 maximum suit power. Which, when I confirm this,
let's see what the boys in R&D
it gives you 336 damage rating instead of the 174. And then I can end up equipping the items. I'm just going to equip the Oscorp generator. And you'll see, now it's up to 1,000 damage rating, and that was just from 300 spirit. So when you get your spirit stuff for, like, your Relic of the Gibbereams, 46 suit power off of that, we'll go, this, what else has spirit? on it. Both of these actually have Spirit on them because of the enchantments. So we've pushed my suit power up to 750, and now my damage is at 1600. So suit power is still massively important for him, especially when he goes and uses one of these, and then activates the one-off for that extra damage, and it's the 59,000 damage brute. And I've got an Eidolon draw. So that's that. That's Iron Man. Pretty basic as in terms of what they've done with his stuff. They've given him, taken away pretty much all of his passives or reworked them into passive toggles. So you can still put 1 point in each of them and still get the benefit of the toggle if you want, and then max out the various passives that you want. So I hope you guys enjoyed this as much as I did reviewing it. Make sure to like and comment on the video, subscribe to the channel, follow me on Twitch, Twitter, and Tumblr at RybackStun. More videos as they come. Remember, this is Test Center. Things are subject to change. I will post the changes as I can if there's anything significant to report. And with that, this is RybackStun, signing out.